Hello YouTubers, this is Chiisai Gamer. I'm playing Plague Inc. I'm only playing this because I can't get Outlast to work with my webcam at the moment, and arguably to get the best results with that, you really do need a webcam for like jumping, jump scares and whatnot. I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to do a playthrough of each of the diseases, just to kind of show what kind of strategies I use for each one. I've already unlocked a lot of these genes for most of them. I think the only one I haven't gotten everything for is the zombie virus, probably because that playthrough kind of annoyed me. I'm going to go with normal for now. I generally don't really worry too much about the name. If you guys haven't played Plague before, it is basically like Pandemic. There was a free-to-play game on the internet. I'll see if I can find a link for it, called Pandemic, and basically what it is you play as a disease and you develop symptoms and transmission tactics and whatnot to try and infect everyone in the world and eventually kill everyone in the world. For the sake of time, I'm gonna triple speed this because these games can last a while. Now you'll see these little bubbles come up. These give you DNA points, and this is what you buy all your stuff with. I do have a gene activated that pops them for me. This can come in handy when, later on, when you start evolving the transmissions. You can get a lot of those come up at one time, and you really do want every single point you can get, so that really helps. Let's see what we got here. Generally want to start working on the abilities first. You really don't want to work on symptoms because as soon as you are found via your symptoms, they will start working on a cure, and the whole idea is to kill everyone before a cure can be made. Another thing you want to do kind of early is work on your transmissions. You're going to want to work on air, which will let you go like on airplanes and whatnot, and water, which will let you be transferred on ships. This will help you get to Greenland, which a lot of people have trouble with. For some reason, I've never really had trouble with it. A lot of this, for me at least, when I play this game, and this is on bacteria, my strategy does change a little bit once you get into viruses because they mutate more aggressively. But here at the beginning, I usually try and just let it go and infect as many people as I can without using a lot of my points. As you can see, it's spreading pretty quickly in Russia, so I don't really need to do too much right now. It is getting down into China, so we are going to want to, and also into Europe, so I'm going to go to my abilities, raise my drug resistance, so that it'll spread faster there. Okay, we have a symptom mutation. We want to take care of this, so we're going to go into symptoms, click on that and devolve. Now, with bacteria, one of the upsides is that you actually get points for devolving. This is not the case for viruses, which is another reason why your tactics have to change. So that's going to go away. They're not going to be able to find my virus yet, or my bacteria in this case. And there you go, I'm in Greenland. Imagine that. Okay. I'm going to update my drug resistance again so that that's sped up a little bit. Can't update those anymore. So we're just going to let it go again and build up more points. So eventually, because it's starting to spread down here to warmer climates, we're going to have to increase our heat defenses, also the spread via the air spread, because that is good for drier climates like in Africa, and also the mosquitoes. Livestock is also good for like India and stuff like that. But I generally don't evolve those too much. I don't usually need them for transmission. Thanks, we're getting more of the Middle East now. I usually have more points at this stage, but we should be okay. Australia. See, this is where that gene comes in handy that'll pop those bubbles for you, because as you can imagine, trying to click all these can get a little maddening. However, once you start playing on harder difficulties, especially on viruses, stuff like that, you're going to need those gene slots for other items. Like one of the ones I get is it's a metabolic hijack, I believe it is. I could be mistaken. Which allows you to get DNA points when they start making the cure, which can actually save your, I would say save your life. That's kind of a weird way to put it on this one. Alright, so we need to help spread the bacteria in warmer climates. So like I said, I'm going to increase the wind transmission and also mosquitoes. See how that is. And if the insect upgrade doesn't help, I'll usually go for the bird upgrade. So, we have the northern hemisphere taken care of. And almost half the population. Now this is another gene that I unlocked where my bacteria can mutate transmissions. It doesn't come with this. You have to unlock it by playing the game on casual. Every time you beat the game on casual, you'll get a new gene. So this one allows me to mutate transmissions at the cost of being easier to cure, which is also not a good thing at higher difficulties, for obvious reasons. And I see we're still having problems with Africa, so I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to try, let's go with birds. We still have no symptoms, which is good. And I'm also going to develop the heat resistance. That will help. There you go. And it also helps in South America, so we're doing a little better now. Okay, now we have another symptom that we have to take care of. And this is also, I mean, it's not as big a deal when you're playing on casual or like the normal difficulties, but later on brutal and mega brutal it becomes a huge deal. Okay, so we're getting a lot of South America now. Still not getting much of Africa. See what we can do. Rodent transmission, that'll probably help. Yeah, that's helping a lot. So I'm just gonna sit back a little bit, let my points build up again. One thing that you're gonna start doing once everyone is infected, okay, we're gonna debulk this again. Once the world is infected, and you will get a message that says there are no healthy people left on Earth, you're going to go through and you're going to activate symptoms to kill all the infected people. At which point your disease will be found very quickly and they will start developing a cure for it. With any luck, you'll be able to kill everyone without them getting the cure first. Now, the things that are going to help you with that, which is one of the main reasons I don't want to spend all of my points right now, are the genetic hardening abilities and the genetic reshuffle abilities, and those get very expensive. Water transmission mutation. Okay, so 6.4 billion so far, we're almost there. And this is all going to take care of itself. We really don't need to spend any more points on transmissions. We've got about 105 points to spend on symptoms and genetic shuffling. We are going to do this later. I find it kind of interesting that they gave that message. I've never actually seen that one before, but it could be a little misleading to people who don't play this game very much. And it's like when I first played the simpler version of this game, before you got all these fancy upgrades and stuff you could do with it, I would start, with symptoms showing and whatnot, and I could never win, and I didn't understand it. But once you think about it and realize, okay, well, I don't really want people to see me because that's when they start to kill me. So that message can be a little misleading, and the more difficult you set this game, the less you really want to mess with all those symptoms until you've actually got everyone infected. And you also want to pay attention to those messages they're giving you. That one was just talking about bird migrations. Usually when you see something like that, you want to go and activate the bird ability. And that's going to help with pesky stuff like this, where people just aren't getting infected. Alright, 7.1. You'll also have natural disasters that kill people. That's why there's only 4,100 dead. Okay, and if you want to double check, you can come over here to the world menu. There are 0 healthy people. So regardless of the fact that I haven't gotten that message yet, I do know that it is okay to start mutating symptoms. And what I usually do is go through coughing, go through pneumonia, go through pulmonary fibrosis, and then go to total organ failure. This will kill everyone, and it will do it rather quickly. Generally, it is fast enough to beat the cure. Obviously, as you go through, it's going to be harder, in harder difficulties. I think I did actually beat this on Brutal just yesterday, and I used this exact strategy. And I managed to beat the playthrough. I think they had like 75% cure by the time I killed everyone. So this bacteria is pretty generic. Once you start getting into viruses, like I said, it's going to get harder. So now they're starting to develop the cure, and now it's at 30%. So I'm going to come in here, get the genetic hardening and also the genetic reshuffle. And usually what I'll do is, as the cure climbs, I'll go ahead and get a set. Usually by the time I get this one, I've got about half the population killed at least, and then they've got a third one up here that you can buy if you should need it. This is why it is of the utmost importance that you do not show yourself early in the game, because you see how quickly they're coming up with a cure. So that being said, I did get the gene that allowed me to mutate transmissions, which also makes my disease easier to cure. Like I said, that it has its upsides and its downsides. At this point, being on the normal difficulty, it's not that big a deal. If I was playing this on brutal or higher, I would not have chosen that as a gene, because you really want to be as hard to cure as possible. I would also point out that once you get to about 500,000 population, you've pretty much won the game. At that point, they'll usually show you a message up here that says the human race is to be eradicated. Also, obviously, the more people you kill, the slower the cure progress is going to be. That is always a good thing. And just for kicks, we'll get the last one. And they're pretty much done for, so we're just waiting for the count to drop to 500,000. China shuts down the internet. There are 60,000 people left in the world and the internet was still around. And these governments are following. Libya shuts down the internet finally. 10 million people left. Russia's government is following. Libya's government. Alright, so at 670,984, Pax-12 has destroyed the world despite its best efforts. And sometimes when you get down to about 10,000, it'll give a message about how the last people on Earth are witnessing history, as they know everyone's going to die and whatnot. Okay. 15,000. Oh, still getting more points. 2,000, 1,500, 1,000, and gone. Victory. And you can actually change the name. I'm lame when it comes to names. Okay, so there you have it. Bacteria on normal difficulty. I'm probably going to do each disease type on normal, and then maybe eventually go to Mega Brutal. But I'm not sure yet. It depends on how quickly I can figure out my webcam issue with my Outlast playthrough. So we'll see how that goes. And then I'm gonna have a couple of pack opening videos up soon. I've got a box of cards coming on Thursday. So I will see you guys then. Game on.